Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the Westonka School Board meeting to order. If everybody would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, we'd like to ask Lauren to rise and repeat the school board member oath of office. Heidi?
Okay. I swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Minnesota,
and that I will discharge faithfully the duties of the office of school board member of Independent School District number 277 to the best of my judgment and ability.
thank you very much.
Congratulations. Chair moves for approval of the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Announcements. Facilities Committee meeting, February 18th, 7 a.m. right here in this room. School Board Workshop session, February 19th, 3 p.m. in the ESC Community Room. And Policy Committee meeting, March 9th, 5 o'clock in the conference room, and a regular board meeting to follow. At this time, I'd like to invite Jeff Peterson up to the podium to share the success presentation.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for having me tonight. Really excited. That's not working?
Mr. Peterson, do you have a slide?
Oh, no, but,
They're in your team. They're in
oh, yeah, they were there. Sorry.
there. Mark in your team now.
In my,
In your team, I'll report.
oh,
They're at the beginning.
okay.
My bad, I should
No,
have
no.
done that.
Here. I know exactly where it is.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Mark. All right, I'm just gonna start over. I'm really excited to be here tonight to share some outstanding students here at Westonka High School. I'd like to invite Luke Sonneborg and Ava Down to come on up. Luke and Ava are seniors this year, and they are the AAA candidates from Westonka, and you can see that Ava Dom was our AAA winner. We had a brunch a couple Sundays ago down at Gustavus, and there's 15 or so schools in our region. Each school has two, and two students out of the entire region are selected to move on from the local and region level to the state level. And so congratulations to Ava. She is our second, did a little research, she is our second student from Westonka to achieve that level of recognition. And the other was Ralph's daughter, Julia Harrison, in 2011. So Luke Sonneborg, parents Mike and Alicia Sonneborg. Luke is a student who truly represents excellence, dedication, and leadership. He has distinguished himself academically with an outstanding 3.99 GPA, challenging himself through 5 AP courses and 2 college in the schools concurrent courses, reflecting a strong commitment to learning. Luke is also a well-rounded and accomplished student athlete. He participated in visual arts for 2 years and competed in multiple varsity sports through his high school career. 5-year member of the Westonka Whitehawks cross country team, Luke has served as team captain for 2 seasons and earned all conference honors during his junior year. In addition, he competed in boys hockey for 3 years, including 2 seasons at the varsity level. As a 4-year member of the boys golf team, Luke earned all conference recognition all 4 years and qualified for the state tournament 3 times. With hopes for continued success this spring, this fall Luke will continue both his academic and athletic journey at Luther College, where he will compete as a member of the Luther men's golf team. Of course, on the bottom, congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, we just slide on the other side of Ava. Ava Down, parents David and Tracy Down. And Ava wasn't able to make the AAA brunch. She was participating in honor band at the U of M, and so I got a call from our region secretary saying, when Ava said I can't make it, saying, Jeff, Ava's our winner. You can't tell anybody, but it's a pretty big deal. So Dad was down there to accept her plaques down there. Ava Down is a candidate who truly embodies the Minnesota State High School League's AAA award, excelling in academics, arts, and athletics. She has demonstrated outstanding achievement, earning a 3.95 GPA, while challenging herself with a rigorous course load that includes 5 AP courses and 5 PSEO courses. In the arts, Ava is a 4-year member of the Westonka High School Band, earning superior ratings at solo and ensemble contests, all conference honors, and recognition as a 2-time All-State Band recipient. Most recently, she was selected to participate in the University of Minnesota Honors Band, which was on the same day as the brunch. Athletically, Ava is dedicated to 3 sports. For the Whitehawks, competing in cross country, track and field, and Nordic skiing. She's earned all conference recognition and has served as team captain for the past 2 years, demonstrating strong leadership and commitment. Ava's dedication, leadership, and excellence across academics, arts, and athletics exemplify the true spirit of the AAA award, making her highly deserving of this recognition. Congratulations, Ava.
Thank you.
Okay, and starting right there with Mr. Rob, you're going to go around the wagon here. Yep, all the way around. That'll be good.
Great.
Congratulations.
Good job. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well done. Congratulations.
Here we've got a couple, thanks for coming, guys. Couple of juniors. The Excel Award is a State High School League award for junior students. Valerie Mobagi and Levi Hayes. I should have said that Ava is one of 32 students that have moved on to the state level for the AAA recognition. Levi is one of 34 students in the state to advance at that level. I did a little research. I'm pretty sure Levi is our first student to achieve that status. Valerie Mobagi, parents Gerald and Zeddy Mobagi. Westonka is proud to recognize a student who truly exemplifies excellence both in and beyond the classroom. Valerie Mobagi, a junior at Westonka High School, is a shining example of dedication, leadership, and service. Valerie has demonstrated outstanding commitment as a student athlete, participating in 1 season of volleyball and currently competing in her 3rd season of girls varsity basketball. A 3-time letter winner, she has earned the respect of her teammates and coaches and now serves as a team captain, an honor that reflects her work ethic, character, and leadership on and off the court. Beyond athletics, Valerie is deeply involved in student life at Westonka. She is an active member and leader in numerous organizations, including DECA, Math League, Link Crew, National Honor Society, Prom Committee, Student Senate, Future Medical Professionals, Letters of Love, and Rotary. Her willingness to lead and serve across so many areas highlights her commitment to making a positive impact within the school community. Her dedication to service extends well beyond the school day. She volunteers her time coaching youth, girls basketball, serving as a discharge volunteer at Methodist Hospital, packing meals at Feed My Starving Children, and supporting a variety of community service initiatives throughout the year, including events with the Eli Hart Foundation. Through her leadership, service, and commitment to excellence, Valerie Mobagi exemplifies the spirit of the Excel Award. Congratulations, Valerie. I actually don't know how she didn't move on either. It's unbelievable when you hear that stuff. Levi Hayes, parents Dan and Jenny Hayes. Westonka is pleased to honor a student who truly exemplifies the values of the Excel Award through commitment, leadership, and service in every area of school life. Levi Hayes is a junior at Westonka High School, demonstrates dedication and work ethic both on and off the field and beyond. Levi is a multi-sport athlete who consistently shows perseverance and excellence. He has participated in 1 season of football, 2 in cross country, 2-time letter winner, 3 years of wrestling as a letter winner, and 2 years of track and field, earning letters with his 3rd season approaching. Throughout his athletic career, Levi has been recognized with numerous team awards, including Rookie of the Year, Most Improved, and Hardest Worker, honors that reflect not only his athletic ability, but his determination and team-first mindset. Congratulations, Levi.
Thank you. Levi, thank you.
Great job, Bill.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Thanks for coming, guys. I'd like to thank the school board for your continued support, the opportunities that our students have, both athletically and around the school, and activities and other areas are just phenomenal. And so we appreciate your support and thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Next, are there any members of the public that wish to come before the board to speak tonight? Said none? We'll move on to reports. The student report. All alone tonight.
I know, I'm all alone. George ditched me. He's competing in math league, so hopefully they'll beat Orno tonight. And I think this one means they might make it to state, but we'll see. I guess I'll hear tomorrow. But starting off with some sports, the Hawkettes dance team got 2nd place in jazz and 3rd place in kick and sections this past weekend, and we're headed to state this weekend. I think it's like the 20th consecutive year that we've qualified, so that's amazing. Such a solid program. Alpine ski had their senior night this past Friday, and then their girls also placed 5th in sections. Unfortunately, their season did end there, both their girls and their boys team. Boys basketball will play at Holy Family tomorrow night, and they have another full month of games before section play begins in March. And girls basketball is the same. They'll also play at Holy Family tomorrow night for a doubleheader. The girls hockey team had a huge win over Orno this past Saturday, earning their place in the section final against Breck on Wednesday, I believe. This was also exceptional. They've had their season ended by Orno for the past 4 years, so this was super exciting. And then finally, I was able to find that the boys hockey team has 3 regular season games left, and then they'll enter sections later this month and earlier into March. I unfortunately was not able to get an update for boys or girls wrestling, but I do know we did host a little invite tournament, whatever you call it, this past Friday, so that was really fun to see. And then moving into some activities, the new finance club, run by senior Gavin Rudimer, had outstanding attendance at their first meeting. Math League has their final meet tonight at Orno, and they're hoping to qualify for state, but we'll see, because they are, I think, towards the top of the section, so they have a really good chance. Over 160 students qualified for the DECA state competition. This is a new record for Westonka's DECA chapter. I feel like we keep climbing, so this is awesome. They'll be competing downtown Minneapolis on March 1st through 3rd to earn their spots at the international competition in Atlanta this year. And junior Ella McClellan was named our district's representative and state officer for next year. Finally, Science Olympiad qualified for the state competition on February 28th. And then moving into some arts, the competitive one-act Yellow Wallpaper ended a very strong run at their section competition on January 31st, receiving 3rd place. The spring play, Clue, held their auditions in mid-January and have begun their rehearsals for their show coming up in mid-March, so I guess it's highly anticipated, so you guys should all go see it. For senior choir participants, we're invited to take part in the Dorian Vocal Festival in Iowa, a prestigious recognition for Westonka's choir program, which is amazing. And then senior Ava Dom received amazing recognition and performed with the U of M Honor Band at the end of January. And finally, 7 Westonka High School students were recognized with honorable mention awards in the 2025-2026 Minnesota Scholastic Art Awards competition, a statewide program celebrating exceptional student creativity and artistic achievement. Moving into some academics, Ava Dom is one of the 32 finalists for the MSHSL AAA Award, and Levi Hayes is one of the 34 winners statewide of the Excel Award. Both students have received these honors on a statewide level. Congratulations to them. We just heard about all their amazing accomplishments. They're really impressive. And finally, with some construction stuff, there's no crazy updates besides 2 stairwells being open that have exponentially cut down my routes walking to class. So I'm very grateful. But yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll go on to construction report, Garrett.
She always tees me up, so it's always good. This one will be relatively quick tonight. We'll give a quick update. The picture, that's what we're working on right now out front there, so we'll very soon. So there's the stairwells we just talked about. Those are now up and running on the northeast. So again, giving the kiddos access. Here is the admin addition that we're working on out front. So we have the superstructure up, and then we're racing the month of February and March to get it complete so we can hand it over and give that's the next area to go. So this month we're working on roofing the exterior facade and pouring concrete slabs, and then we'll start framing walls.
We're gonna leave the mud floors for our principal and assistant principal.
Yeah, we're gonna make it concrete.
Just check it.
Has weather cooperated with progress, or?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of slowed us a little bit down with the cold weather. I mean, it's just sometimes the crews don't want to work in -10, but for the most part, we maintain the schedule, so no issues. And then we're also in the media center. That's starting to already take shape. We're starting to frame walls in there. And,
Will that be done sometime this spring, or is that into the summer?
that is into the spring, so that's part of the areas we're rushing.
We'll turn over the media center and then the office and then the student services beginning of May is when that all should come online. We're gonna be taking down the gym after spring break. And then some of the lower level, the bathrooms and a few classrooms on the lower level, we're gonna turn that over this spring with the little theater. And so we're in transition, but first is to open up once we open up the north end, then we can close down the courtyard, and we want to get that going because the admin area becomes our new nursing area, and like to get that opened up.
So that's kind of the gist of tonight. Like I said, we're kind of in that lull. We're in the middle of, we've handed over the stuff. They're into their new spaces and hopefully going well. For heard positive things. Everyone likes their new digs. So
really, just an incredible response by students and staff of the classrooms, and so a lot of people are really happy. We've had some good planning meetings with the start of construction for the stadium. One thing that should happen, if weather allows, before our next board meeting is right now we're hoping early March, we're going to start working on the parking lot that's currently where the old tennis courts are. And so you'll see in the coming weeks, we're gonna set up different staging areas so we can move on that project. But if weather allows, we'll start at the beginning of March making that a step, and we'll have
Yeah.
that update here.
There'll be some logistics going on in the next month, just kind of like Kevin said, moving some stuff around, but we're excited to get rolling this spring. And yeah, I think after, you guys come back in the fall, it's gonna be amazing what this place looks like, so.
I've
just-
talked to a lot of students, and they're really happy with the classrooms. They're really happy, and they love having the stairwells. And all the light that brings in
Yeah.
is another big factor. It's really, really nice.
Yep.
Kevin, you mentioned the small theater. What's the timing on that again?
That will turn over to us next spring. But
Oh, next spring?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said. it
there's
was
quite a
some
bit
kind
of
a
shoring, going down to the lower level, and as that's gonna allow natural light in, and we extend the wall to the east, so quite a bit's involved in that.
Yeah, okay, then I misunderstood what you're saying.
Yeah, that's kind of our last big.
Want to thank KA, the staff, the students. We try to pick certain little parts of the project as we go, and so over spring break, we're gonna work on some of the tile, on the flooring, just different areas where we think we can get a little bit more done. And so people have been very cooperative. If you were to come into the Performing Arts Center, you'd see the pop-up media center. So our media specialist is now where Corey Bowman had an English classroom. And our staff and students have done such a nice job of showing the flexibility of how we can continue certain services in different ways and really do a great job of it. And so we've been able to keep a lot of that service available for kids. And then if there's requests for books, how we can accommodate that. If they have tech needs, how we accommodate that. But that's really a great effort by many. We've enjoyed having construction just beyond the north side here for a little bit, and that's been to center it. I think that's just good for everyone. So we're at a stage where that can happen. So.
There's some restoration work still to do from the out here by the front entrance, right? This spring, is that?
That won't happen until the very end of the project now. We're gonna stack up with a lot of Conex boxes in that area.
Oh, in that area, okay.
Because the whole track area and then south of the fields and all the parking lots are going under construction, it really left a piece of that grove there that we were able to come up with a space that doesn't impact the trees, and we can put down some gravel to use that, and then we'll take that up and then turn that back to grass afterwards. That'll give grounds a good project. Otherwise, yeah, we continue to work on the staging of the next space, and I think Gary went over that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
You're talking about the area directly across from the tennis courts there, on the side of the
So
train track?
that's the old tennis courts. We're gonna start working on a parking lot, but where we're gonna put the Conex boxes are between Sunnyfield and the first sidewalk. You'll see that it was cleared of snow.
Like by the
Here
first
recent, kind of by the
By the
digital.
lights. Oh, by the digital sign.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what we were calling the main entrance anymore.
Oh,
Okay, I see.
It's been changing.
Well, yeah, because our north entrance will be the main entrance,
It will be.
but then which driveway you drive in, I don't, what's the main entrance?
Yeah, that's gonna, what it is this year will be different next year.
Yeah, okay.
All right, then we'll move on to the treasurer's report. And Heidi, will you read this nice short report?
Here are the cash donations for December 2025. Eric Schmidt, in memory of Evan Schmidt, Westonka High School Band Program, $5,000. Westonka Band Boosters, Westonka High School Band Program, $350. Jim and Melissa Murphy, Westonka Wings, $1,000. Hilltop PTO, Hilltop Primary Schools, $782.50. Westonka Middle School PTO, Westonka Middle School, $1,772.36. Robert and Karen Morgan Family Foundation, Community Ed Voce, $1,000. Cheryl Dale, Cheryl Woolley and John Dale, Class of '63 Scholarship, $28,000. Butch Humbert, Larry Excel Memorial Scholarship, $100. Weiser Insurance Agency, Weiser Insurance Scholarship, $500. Sandra Eldred, Westonka Class of 1975 Scholarship, $1,000. Christian and Jean Dahl, Westonka Class of 1975 Scholarship, $500. G. Roberts, Westonka Class of 1975 Scholarship, $1,000. Kristen Zimmerman, Westonka Class of 1975 Scholarship, $1,250. Charles Hildelink, Westonka Class of 1975 Scholarship, $100. Diane Hildelink, Westonka Class of 1975 Scholarship, $100. Richard Rice, Westonka Class of 1975 Scholarship, $100. Mound Farmers Market, Westonka Middle School Student Senate, $100. Anonymous, Westonka Middle School Student Senate, $15. Westonka Hockey Boosters, Westonka Boys Hockey Club, $8. Robert O'Hara, Westonka Nordic Ski Club, $50. Ted and Carrie Wojcik, Westonka Nordic Ski Club, $300. Westonka Nordic Ski Boosters, Westonka Nordic Ski Club, $4,330. Sean and Deb Bailey, National Honor Society, $100. And here are the cash donations for January 2026. Anonymous, Hilltop Primary School, $50. Mound Farmers Market, Shirley Hills Primary School, $100. Shirley Hills PTA, Shirley Hills Primary School, $9,591. Mound Farmers Market, Westonka High School, $100. Anonymous, Westonka High School, $50. Westonka Boys Hockey Boosters, Westonka High School Boys Hockey, $650. Westonka Girls Hockey Boosters, Westonka High School Girls Hockey, $1,193.50. Trinity Lutheran Church Agape Fund, CE sponsor a student. Community Ed, I'm assuming, sponsor a student, $1,000. Barbara and John Maccabee, CE ECFE, $300. Back Channel Brewing Collective, CE Voce, $140. American Legion Auxiliary Unit 398, American Legion Scholarship, $2,000. Butch Humbert, Cross Country Scholarship, $100. Minneapolis Foundation, Tyler Hill Sunshine Scholarship, $2,000. Butch Humbert, Larry Excel Scholarship, $100. Long Lake Fire Department, Long Lake Fire Department Scholarship, $1,000. Hewitt Law Office, LLC, Eric Hagan Memorial Scholarship, $500. Thomas and Nancy Christensen, Austin Goddard Memorial Scholarship, $250. Margot Spanners, Class of 2012 Scholarship, $1,000. Stephen Whitmer, Mount Westonka Class of 1975 Scholarship, $1,000. Ronald and Susan Otten, Mount Westonka Class of 1975 Scholarship, $1,000. Audrey and John Fox, Mount Westonka Class of 1975 Scholarship, $1,000. Mark Holmuth, Mount Westonka Class of 1975 Scholarship, $250. Nordic Ski Boosters, Nordic Ski Club, $539.65. Sarah De La Vega, Tonka Box, $150.
Lauren, nice job with the 1975
Thank you, we're getting
class, raising some funds there, man, holy moly.
over 10.
I'm assuming you raised
Over
you
10.
Over
in
10.
charge of that.
Nice.
Was that from your reunion?
Yeah.
Activities?
Yeah. Well, it's afterwards, saying, let's do this, yeah,
So that was your 50th year?
yes.
That was the year I was born.
Thanks.
No, I did that.
I need that commercial there, high school.
Were you campaigning everybody to
We
donate?
had, well, we had talked we had talked, well, they're getting set up real quickly, we had talked on the reunion committee about putting a bucket out, and getting $1,000 for a one-time scholarship, and I said, we can do better, let's get enough so that it has $1,000 of interest every year.
Yeah.
And so we started at the reunion, but then I sent out emails to everybody that attended and everybody that didn't attend, and just said, here's what we're doing.
That's awesome.
So I think we've got 8 people have given $1,000 so far. Now, the goal is to get that up. I want to know who did that $28,000 scholarship. Okay? That's
Lauren,
isn't it?
I didn't see your name next to it.
It was last month. It was last month. It was last month.
No, we've actually had that one a few years.
Have that? Okay.
Yeah, terribly generous,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's huge. I mean, I'd love to get to that level.
right?
You know. And my thought is in 3 to 5 years, we hit that age 73 where you've got to start taking mandatory disbursements from retirement funds, and people are looking for ways
Sure.
to reduce their taxes.
Yeah.
But it's a real good time, I think.
I believe you can do it, Lauren.
Well, thank you.
Okay, all right. Tonight we'll be reviewing the high points of the 2025-26 revised budget. But before we revise, or look at the revised budget, I'd like to take just a brief look at our normal monthly financial reports for enrollment, revenue, and expenditures. This slide shows a snapshot of our February 1st enrollment, district-wide 2,456 students. We did have a new family move in January, and with the semester change annually, every year we have some schedule shifts of high school students, but the net effect of all of that is we had a district-wide increase of 4 students. Revenue and expenditures through the end of January, we have collected $16,299,000 or 36.3% of our revised budget, and we have expended $22,436,000 or 50.4% of our budget. Both the receipts and expenditures appear to be tracking appropriately compared to the prior 2 years.
Almost exactly halfway between the prior 2 years.
I know. I like that. That's right.
That's impressive.
Yes. All right. As you recall, last summer in June, you as a board approved an adopted budget. And each school year, midway through the year, several of those unknowns that we experienced have become much clearer. And the revised budget now is based on updated information, current enrollment, and current legislation. And I'd like to thank Lauren, Brian, and Ralph for meeting last week to discuss the revised budget in greater detail with Kevin and myself. As you're aware, our district enrollment is the key factor in our operational budget. This slide shows a 5-year enrollment history. And as you can see from this chart, we've been very fortunate to experience stable enrollment. Our adopted budget last summer, we set at 2,407 students, and we are experiencing stronger enrollment, particularly in our kindergarten class this year, which is currently 191 students. And we're pleased to report that the revised budget calls for bumping it to 2,447 or a gain of 40 students as compared to the adopted budget. And our revised budget is tied to our December enrollment of 2025, which we do most years. We took the enrollment figures and made all the revenue calculations and updated it to 2,447 students. And now that we have a better indication of funding, and we applied, again, the numbers, our largest source of revenue is our general education formula. So every pupil unit that we serve, we receive 7,481 weighted per weighted student. Compared to last year, the government, state of Minnesota, gave us a 2.74% increase. We also, in this revised budget, we applied our operating referendum at step 2, which we'll talk about a little bit more on the next slide. We updated our special education revenue. We've had, thankfully, improved cross-subsidy aid over the last couple of years. We adjusted our lease levy. We also updated our federal revenue that we update according to preliminary awards. At this point, we still don't know our final awards from the federal government until spring. And our local receipts, we also updated to actual admissions, fees, sale of equipment, and also interest, to name a few. This slide is, again, our second largest source of funding that our district relies on for our operating budget. In November 2019, Westonka residents approved a 10-year, two-step operational levy in support of our students. Instead of asking for a large increase up front, this levy accessed funds only as they were needed by the district. The two-step levy gradually was designed to bring Westonka closer to the funding levels of our neighbors to the east. The second step included an additional $350 per student plus inflation, and we received that higher allocation beginning last school year. The two-step levy has had a huge impact on our ability to maintain essential programs, preserve quality, high-quality programs, and it has really helped the success of all of our students. And the funding is also very instrumental if we would have to weather a difficult storm or an unexpected expense. And we are most grateful for this funding. This slide gives a recap of our general fund revenue by source. On the left-hand side is our audit from last school year, so that's actual. On the right-hand side is the revised budget that I'm presenting tonight. And you can see that the state of Minnesota is where we collect most of our money from, about 63%. Our property tax owners contribute about 30%, and the others are made up by local and federal dollars. Again, not a great swing between the 2 years. In addition, in the revised budget, not only did we update our revenue, we also updated our expenditures. When we set our budget this summer, we didn't have all of our staffing done. We weren't sure about a lot of things that weren't going to be wrapped up until the audit was done as far as that actual trends. And so we had the ability to do that now mid-year. So again, we know who our staff are. We know their benefits that they're taking. All of our bargaining groups and individuals are settled. We could update our utility trends, our projects that we have with our grants, long-term facility maintenance, operating capital, and furniture, fixtures, and equipment that we're purchasing out of general fund. This pie graph shows our general fund expenses by program code. I always like looking at this each year. The percentage indicates Westonka does a fantastic job of spending the majority of the district funds in the classroom for regular instruction, vocational instruction, special education, pupil support, and instructional support. This slide shows the prior history of the general fund unassigned and assigned fund balance. This is another point of pride reflecting good stewardship and fiscal responsibility. With the revised budget, we plan to grow the unassigned fund balance by just about $470,000, and then we'll be accessing about $300,000 for planned assigned furniture expenses. The district is projecting an unassigned and assigned fund balance of just over $7.1 million, which is 16.03% of the general fund expenditures. This continues to stay within our fund balance goal policy of 8 to 18%. We monitor this closely with our planning financial software and also our district finance committee. Fiscal responsibility, long-term planning, and forecasting is top priority. Okay, the next 7 slides I'll go through briefly. We have 7 other funds besides general fund. Obviously, general fund is our largest, but I'll give a broad overview of the other 7 funds, starting with food service. The Westonka Foodies do exceptional work and are pleased to be serving students breakfast and lunch at no charge through the federal and state child nutrition program. They are forecasting a fund balance use of just under $450,000. Again, they've been planning on this for quite some time, and that will be used to purchase equipment, which ties in beautifully with our construction project. Community education houses our adventure club, youth after-school programs, adult programs, summer enrichment, the Westonka Activity Center, early childhood programs, adult basic education, early childhood family education, and preschool screening, just to name a few. Our community ed department offers strong programming, and their mission is to provide exceptional programming and yet continue a solid fund balance, which they are planning to do in the revised budget. Building construction. The building construction revised budget, I'll talk about the expenses first. We receive a draw schedule from Kraus Anderson, and you can see by the dollars that we'll be expending, it's going to be a very busy summer. All of the expenses were updated and to what we'll be spending through June 30th of 2026. The revised budget revenue for building construction was updated. We updated it for interest earnings, and we also have the final numbers for the second sale of our bond, the tax abatement, the LTFM bonds, and also the refinancing of our 2016 bonds. They were bonds that were callable, meaning that we could refinance them if we wanted to, and we took that opportunity while we had bonds going on, and that provided a refinancing savings of just north of $350,000. Construction projects typically are in over phases, and we were really happy to have a 2-sale bond, so the district did not spend unnecessary interest costs when we did not need the funds at the beginning. Again, accessing the funds only as needed. With these bond transactions, our taxes will stay in line with the levels that were planned before the election. Debt service is where we have 3 voter-approved bonds, the 2012, 2016, and the first sale of the 2024 bonds. That is collected through our property taxes for our principal and interest payments, and it also includes our 2018 abatement bonds. Trust fund. This tracks our activity of our scholarship receipts and payments. This last spring, Westonka High School awarded over $469,000 worth of local scholarships. This budget, as you can see, is just a little over $100,000, and this only accounts for the scholarships that we are the fiscal agent for. So that's an example is the scholarship that Lauren's involved in. Internal Service Fund is, it houses our dental and health insurance activity. We are self-insured, and we are projecting a slight reserve growth in our self-insured programs this year. Our self-insured program has really performed well over the years and has been monitored closely. We have a monthly employee benefit committee as well as an advisor that tracks the statistics each month. And then the last of the 7 other funds is OPEB, and the OPEB stands for Other Employment or Other Post-Employment Benefits. And back in 2009, legislature granted districts statewide the opportunity to finance their OPEB liabilities through bonds, and the district took advantage of this opportunity, which was a very wise move. Had the bonds, and those bonds were paid off and closed out and retired in 2019. And so the fund balance that's listed here, that's in excess of $3 million, is in a trust fund and ready for future responsibilities that the district has. All right, that concludes the review of the revised budget. This slide, I know is a little bit difficult to read, but it's a 1-page overview. It's in your board packet, and I also posted it on the district website, but it gives the beginning fund balance, the revenue, the expenses, and what we're anticipating for ending fund balances. Later on the agenda tonight, there'll be an action item where you'll be approving this budget. Just a couple more slides. Once we're done with the revised budget, we dive right into the 26-27 adopted budget that we'll be processing in June. It's early on, but we have on the slide before you just the beginning assumptions that we're talking about. We're looking at 160 kindergartners, 2,425 students. We are, as of right now, we're planning on similar funding levels from the state as to what we received this year. Again, we have our second step of the levy that will be in place, and then we will apply the inflation factor. We have additional capital projects levy that will be factored in, and the expenditures, we have some groups that we're settled with, otherwise we'll be putting in estimates for the salary and benefit. We are currently experiencing a little bit higher claims on our insurance, so we're keeping an eye on that. We usually lean at this time of the year to be conservative with our budget. Dental is more so in line. All other salary and benefit costs in our projection model, we applied 3% to those. And we did add the, again, the furniture, fixture, technology items that we knew about that were for the coming year. And then lastly, each year, there'll be an action item for a budget goal recommendation. In an effort to protect the district's strong financial position, each year we challenge our budget. We explore opportunities to increase revenue, and we also look to save any district dollars that are available. On this slide is just some of the notes that we've talked about. We have a 5-year financial planning tool that we use, and it's showing a variance of about $40,000. The board was very strategic in assigning dollars for class size, special education, and other expenses for the bond. And our goal was to preserve those assigned fund balances. And again, we talk a lot about enrollment. Those are something that we'll keep an eye on between now and when we adopt the budget in June. We also keep an eye on retirements. And at the end of the day, our goal is to stay within our fund balance policy that you have set of 8 to 18% fund balance goal. And then below is just a few highlights of budget calendar items. Again, 2 action items tonight: the revised budget, the budget goal. We have an important staffing meeting with our administrative team in March. Most of our budget is based on staff, so that's an important meeting since that's the largest share of our budget. We have 2 finance meetings. We do a mid-progress check-in in April and one before the board meeting, and then finally at the June meeting we will bring the adopted budget to you. And with that, that's all I have. Kevin, did you want to add any comments or any questions or comments from the board?
Good report.
Sure.
Well, you're up.
Okay, for the teaching learning report tonight, I come tonight to present the annual American Indian Parent Advisory Vote of Concurrence. And tonight we had plans to have Carrie Static here. She's the chair of the APAC committee, and she just texted me. She has a sick kiddo at home. She wanted to be here, but she did want to express to the board her appreciation on behalf of the committee of the support, participation that I know Dave's been part of some of the meetings, and Gary, you've been part of some of these APAC meetings. And tonight what I'm going to be doing is sharing you just some updates of what's going on with the APAC committee, and then there'll be a vote of concurrence that I'll talk through at the end of my presentation. Just as a reminder, it's state statute that districts that have 10 or more American Indian students form American Indian Parent Advisory. And we have very humble beginnings back in COVID. It was 2 parents and myself meeting on Zoom, trying to figure out how we're going to do this and what this means. And that was 6 years ago. And now our enrollment is up to 34 students. And then with the state of Minnesota, when you hit 20 or more students, it opens up funding. So minimum funding for an APAC committee is $40,000 plus $500 for every student above 20 students. So we have a budget of $46,500 from the state of Minnesota. That is dedicated to the American Indian Parent Advisory, all in the spirit of supporting our American Indian students. So with that money, the committee takes very seriously the work of supporting American Indian students. The bottom of this slide demonstrates the three big areas that we focus on. And it is really, one, developing cultural awareness in our community, in our schools, of our American Indian students. It's really working on building stronger connections between our students and families, with our buildings, with our district. And then it's really wrapping our arms around our American Indian students to help them learn about their heritage, their background, their customs, that they understand where they have come from. And that really is the mission of the APAC committee. Now, with those goals, the way we go about this work, last January, with the funding that we have from the state, we hired Leslie Chase on the left. She is our very part-time elementary American Indian liaison. And she meets with our identified elementary students that are American Indian once a month. And they have short meetings, like at Hilltop right at the start of school, Shirley Hills at the end of the day. It's all voluntary, so we contact the parents. We ask them would they like to be a part of this. And it's really focused around just crafts, talking about their heritage. She might have a story to read to them, and it's just for them to be introduced to their culture. And then Allie O'Halloran, she's our secondary American Indian liaison, and she is working with our middle school and our high school. And she's just doing a terrific job with that level of students. This is a picture of the two of them with Izzy Hannon, and she was a Westonka High School 2025 graduate. And with Allie's leadership, they sponsor an American Indian graduation. So I'll show you a few more pictures about that in just a minute. So those two, Leslie and Allie, really guide, they do the work of the committee. The committee really is like a board watching over, like you do, the offerings and the operations of the work. So just as a quick recap, some of the programming where we use the funding, we pay for those part-time positions with the liaisons. We work and partner with McGizzy. McGizzy is an organization out of Minneapolis that works with middle school and high school kids. So we have J.C. Anderson is a McGizzy educator. She comes out every Tuesday to the middle school, and she comes twice a month to the high school to work with our American Indian students. Again, it's focused on cultural activities, it's focused on heritage, discussion, it's all voluntary, but she probably has, at the middle school and the high school, an average of 7 to 10 students that show up each time she's meeting with them. And then Dave was a part of this just a few weeks ago. Every year we sponsor American Indian Scholarship Financial Aid Night, and Larry Gardenson from the Office of Higher Ed comes and talks with families about the different scholarships and financial aid opportunities really in our state university system. And we had other APACs from Rockford, Waconia, Orono with us that night. It was a really nice gathering with families and students just to begin to understand college scholarship opportunities, financial aid opportunities designated for American Indian students. So we do this every winter, kind of right in time for application time for students, and it's very well received. And this is just a slide of the American Indian graduation ceremony that we do. So this was just last May, and this is again Izzy Hammond. And we have Norman Benson. He is a Native American elder. He comes, he leads the program. And then you can see these star quilts that are handmade is a traditional gift for the graduate. And again, the families, the grandparents come. And again, it's voluntary. If the student wants a Native American graduation, we host it. But it's all voluntary, and we've done this 2 years in a row now, and Again, we'll reach out to our seniors that are American Indian, and we'll offer that again here in this coming May. And these are just a few pictures with Leslie Chase and the work that she's doing with our elementary students. And what's kind of fun with this group is that sometimes they have no idea that they're American Indian until their families tell them, or other students that are American Indian. They make these connections together. This is the American Indian Science Engineering Society STEM Conference that came to Minneapolis in October. And it is run by, it's a national organization, and it's all American Indian professionals, and they're there to show American Indian students different career paths in the STEM fields. We had 4 students attend that this year, just exposure of opportunities that they might have in the STEM engineering fields. Let's just picture that, and that's Allie, the work that she's doing, you know, contacting the parents, organizing the event, being there as the chaperone, all the details. We could not do this kind of work without Allie and her efforts. And then the last thing I just share with you tonight is there is more and more effort between neighboring districts that have APACs. And the effort here is we've met twice this year. The idea is to build a more regional event, like on a weekend, among all the families across our neighboring districts. It's a great effort. Nothing's been planned yet, but there surely is passion and a want to do that. So there's more to come on that piece there. And then just other APAC events that have been going on. You know, the Timberwolves, the Twins have a Native American night, so we've had students and families go to that. Allie right now is organizing U of M, Two Cities Campus, American Indian Day visit, and then there are powwows, and then there's other regional APAC events that are being planned. So this leads me to the formal part of my slides is just to share with you, there is, prior to March 1st, the APAC meets, and we have a discussion. It's about the school district and how we work together with the district, and if the district is making progress with our established goals. And they vote, and it's a resolution of concurrence where, yes, the district is doing well. They feel the partnership between the APAC and the district, or they can vote non-concurrence where they'd say, no, there's work to be done. If you have a vote of non-concurrence, then the APAC needs to give the school board a written recommendation of the areas to work on. And then the school board would have 60 days to respond in kind as to what needs to change. That's all part of statute that we follow this. So we had our vote January 13th, and no surprise to me, and I'm sure to you, that that was a unanimous vote of concurrence. Great appreciation of the work that we do, the support that they feel here, and I speak for the families, I speak for the committee, that they really feel Westonka is a very special place to send the kids to school. So you have an agenda item simply to approve the vote, and then Gary and Kevin, there's a document to sign, and then I'll submit that to the state. And we have a vote of concurrence.
Thank you very much for your hard work on this. It's turned into a very successful program.
Very much. Right? Thank you.
Kevin, you're on board.
Well, when we look at our agenda items, I think everyone's really spoken to them, with the addition that we have our enrollment in grade 7 and grade 5. We're going to be closing open enrollment off when they hit 210 in those two areas, and so this is a lever that we pulled just to make sure that we can manage class sizes along with our enrollment. Right now, we don't see that in other grades, but if we do, we'll bring that to the board. As Kathy presented, we feel good about where our enrollment is is going and continue to make efforts there. But I think that's a statement of just progress as a district. And so I'm pleased to see that. Kathy did a nice job of describing the revised budget and our budget goal. I would say every year that I've been the superintendent, we've had a budget goal. I think it's our effort to make sure that we're prioritizing dollars in the best place that we can. One thing that I do in my email out to families is if anybody has an experience where they think that we should get focus or we can expend in a more wise fashion, we always take that feedback from staff, from parents. We continue to evaluate everything from our operations to how we staff to making sure we have competitive contracts, the full 360 around it. We do that annually just to make sure that we are putting those dollars in the best place that we can. I would say that as it is really tight, that effort continues to produce areas where you see over time things shift and it's a good focus to place. So I really just want to thank the finance committee, the board. When you see that your fund balance is going up and you're also talking about challenging your budget, for some people, they ask questions about it. And I think the reason why our fund balance goes up is because we constantly challenge our budget. They're not separate. That's the result of that effort. And so the goal is to make constant reviews, constant adjustments to have a strong budget. One thing that's happening at the state currently is they're reviewing our special education funding. There's a work group that's formed that's expected to give recommendations next October. They're charged with finding a restructure of about $250 million statewide. That's something that we're monitoring closely of how that could impact our district, other districts. One thing that we're in position when you have a signed fund balance, it protects you that if they were to make a change, we have a little bit of a time to adjust, but it's something that we've stayed engaged with people that serve on that committee and our local representatives of just making sure that decisions made, as we appreciate that there has to be reviews and sometimes adjustments, that our voice is part of that consideration. And so we have voiced where we think there's some opportunity there and what we'd like to see protected. And I think they've been, as they're receptive, different districts are going to be impacted differently by that, and that's part of the process. So overall on budget, also Kathy mentioned with the sale of our bond that you took action in January on, that's been fully executed now to this point, and so we continue to manage our project, and we're just really excited to see the progress being made. September of 27, we can't wait for that date to come that we can say that we've expended the dollars that we've budgeted to bring those improvements for our students in this community. That being said, that's what I got.
Chair moves for approval of the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion items. The chair moves for approval of action item 9A, approval of the 25-26 revised budget. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Chair moves for approval of action item 9B, approval of the budget goal for the fiscal year 2027. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Chair moves for approval of action item 9C, approval of resolution to close grade 7 for open enrollment for the 26-27 school year. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Chair moves for approval of action item 9D, resolution to cap grade 5 enrollment for the purpose of open enrollment for 26-27 school year. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Chair moves for approval of action item 9E, approval of contract award with Titan Environmental and asbestos and mercury removal at Westonka High School. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Does anybody have anything else to bring? If not, chair moves for adjournment. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's carried. Meeting's adjourned. Thanks, everybody.